Previously on Vibin with Keon.
So you prepared right now?
Right now.
I am. Oh. Me too.
What kind? I have a good though. How big is it? Is that big?
I had a painkiller addiction. Like I used to be addicted. I used to be addicted to Tylenol PMs. Like heavy. Like, I can go buy a 150 capsule bottle and be through with it in almost 2 weeks.
Jesus.
I was like, sister, you're real cute for a big boy.
What is
I
that?
felt that was a compliment.
That's not a compliment.
So me and him really got into it because he was like, bitch, what you mean I'm cute for a big boy? Bitch, you is cute for a big boy. I didn't think there was nothing wrong.
You said you did, bro.
What's done is done.
Mm-hmm.
You prepared for that?
Child, he get on, he cuts the fool, he talk real shit, bitch. We laugh, we cry, we have fun. They don't have no outlet, or they don't have no voice, or they don't have no one to confide in, you know, so all right, y'all, we're on. What's up? What's up? What's up? Come on in the building. Come on in. You can put up a comment.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, we got Miss Ann in the building. We got Wayne Mills in the building. Diane in the building. I can't see anybody else yet. For those who come in, so come on in the room. Mr. Ann say, Keon, we ready. Y'all ready for a good night?
We are.
Absolutely.
Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Y'all nervous? Y'all know
No.
you nervous, straight.
Yeah, I'm nervous.
Look, shake it off.
No need to be nervous.
Look,
You got this.
shake it off.
All
All right, y'all. Cheers to a good night.
Cheers
to a good night. Cheers,
night.
cheers, cheers. Good
Boom.
night. Good night. All right, y'all. So, to my left, well, you know, I will start with myself. You know, I'm none other than the host, Mr. KeonStafford. You can follow me on all social platforms at The Real KeonStafford. That's Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat different, but y'all can follow me. To my left, we have none other than Mr. Dree Glass. Tell them where they can follow you at.
Y'all can follow me on Instagram at Tattoos by King Dree or Blue Art by King Dree. It's all the same.
All right. And then to my right, we got the lady of the hour, baby. I've been trying to get her for a long time. Miss Rahkel Henry.
Hey, everybody out there. Here with Keon.
Go ahead and tell them where they can follow you at.
So you can follow me at Rahkel Henry. That's RAHKEL Henry, HENRY, on all platforms. Facebook, well, not all platforms. I don't have all platforms.
Ooh.
So on Facebook and Instagram.
I need you to get the TikTok.
Oh, I have a TikTok. I've done one video and yeah. Okay. I know.
You know, I need to do a little better too, because I put one thing on there. I think I put a couple things on there. I just recently posted something on there. I was acting like I was a drag queen.
Oh, my TikTok is Kelly Wow, KELLIWOW for my TikTok.
Could you do your
your
slogan for me?
Yeah.
Could you do your slogan for me? I love when you say it.
So I do this every Sunday on all of my platforms, and I call it a clarion call that I do for people who don't have church, spirituality, God in their life, right? I do a clarion call, and it's called Turn Up for Jesus, right? And I come on and I say, you know who I am, and you know what I'm here for. Turn up for Jesus and turn down for nothing. Y'all see it, right?
Yeah. Okay,
That's
baby. We love Jesus, girl. You know it get real messy. Them two over there, they're a little messy.
Oh.
So
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready though.
We may need Jesus.
Yeah.
Lord, have mercy.
I ain't always been saved.
And Dree, I know you don't have no no slogan, no standing thing, but are you still doing tattoos?
No, I'm not doing tattoos. Actively, like not inking anybody, but I have been working on the legits of everything. Okay. I've already formed the business. I already got the business license. This will be year 2 for me. I've already filed my taxes. Okay. So I'm just, planning still like I was in the beginning, just for that grand opening day.
Okay, good. Yeah. All right, so for the people who are watching, we have some newcomers. We have people who are returning guests or followers who follow us. Tell them or tell us a little bit more about Dree.
All right. Well, my name is Dree Sean Glass. I am from Decatur, Georgia. I'm 33 years old. I'm a Leo. I'm an entrepreneur. By those terms, I dive into a lot of art. I'm a portrait artist. I paint blue portraits of people. So that's my second brand outside of the tattoos. I'm a podcaster. I have a podcast set up. It's called King Dree Motivational Podcast. And the platform is basically like to motivate people and to inspire them from the word and tie it into like an entrepreneurial type vibe. I'm sorry. I got an ear infection, so I feel like I can't hear right now.
Go ahead.
But I just use my podcast as a way to just get it out. Whatever's on my heart, I speak it. It's really quick messages, like 30 seconds to 1 minute, something powerful for that day that you can use and hang on to for the week or for the month or for whatever you go through. So what else I got going on, man? Affiliate marketing, nonprofit that I've been working on for my mom and the whole mental illness and stuff like that.
I remember we talked about last time.
Yeah, man.
You busy.
Amazon, I got my own bookstore set up. Yeah, I got a lot of shit going on. Just trying to,
So I definitely want to come on the podcast whenever you get a chance.
Black man handling his business.
Yes. Yeah. And I got to see your book too, because I would definitely purchase a book.
All right, cool, man.
What about you, Miss Rahkel?
Well, so I've got quite a bit going on. So actually, last year I did a lot of filming. I filmed with Lee Daniels. So that movie will be coming out this year on Netflix.
Come on, Lee.
It's called Deliverance.
Okay.
Then I also filmed with Dreamcatcher Productions, where I am the leading lady. So yes, so that will be coming out this year, and that's called Pastor. Then last year, our reality docuseries came out. It's called Trans World Atlanta, and I'm Queen Mother.
Okay.
What else do I have going on? I also work in, I do community work. I work for a nonprofit called TWOC Healing Project, which stands for Trans Women of Color Healing Project. I'm also ordained elder. So of course it's church for me. Also doing just ministry work, period. You know what I'm saying? Helping people get to a space and place where they can be healthy, healed, and whole. And I'm newly engaged.
Baby,
he proposed.
So did your cousin tell you? No. So, girl, you made me cry.
Oh, you saw it. Oh, so
I
you showed
cried. Let me tell you something. He showed me
the video. Yeah, that can't be posted.
I
know you.
I
did. Yeah.
So I seen the video, and by the time you got to the end, I was boo-hooing. This bitch was taking pictures like I was crying because I was just like, oh my God, congratulations. Like, bitch, like I feel like I was there. I'm a sucker for love. I was sucker for love. I've been engaged before, so I know the feeling. I know how it feels. So congratulations, girl. Invite me to the wedding now. So going in, I know you heard Miss Rahkel say, Trans World of Atlanta. For those who don't know, so now I can say it. Those who don't know, Miss Rahkel is a trans woman. And they can't clock her teeth. And then right here, this is a trans man. And they can't clock his teeth. Your boy's deeper than mine. Your boy's deeper than mine. Look. Yeah. So Drake is a trans man, and Rahkel is a trans woman. So, baby, look. Because when I found out about Rahkel, I dropped my mouth. I'll never forget. You were sitting in there. I was on FaceTime with him. You was in there with your mom, and you was talking, And I was like, wait, no, he said, you know, this a trans. I said, bitch, you're like, I gagged. I was gagged like 20 minutes straight. It was crazy. And then, of course, I kind of went through Dree with Dree journey. So I was with Dree when Dree got his breast removed. The voice got deeper, etc., etc. So I have been a part of Dree's journey, but yeah, y'all gagged the girls, okay? Y'all definitely gagged the girls. So I'm gonna start with you, Rahkel.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit more about how you started your transition process.
So I can remember as early as 5 seeing myself in a wedding dress, right? And so as a 5-year-old little boy, seeing myself in a wedding dress, like what does that even look like? Of course, we see TV and stuff, and so when we watch TV, we always watch television trying to look for ourselves.
Correct.
That's why we got all the fads and everything we got going on in the world, because we see it. I can't remember a time that I was not attracted to the same sex, right? So I was a flamboyant boy. And at the age of 15, I had a mental breakdown. So I can identify with the mental stuff. Had a mental breakdown dealing with my sexuality because I was raised in a holiness church. And so being raised in a holiness church, you're going to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah.
Point blank, period.
They try to pray about you.
Yeah. And you can't pray off of me who I am, right? And so I learned that later down the line that God wasn't going to deliver me from me being me. Actually, at 15, I found out that I was born with a hormonal imbalance. And that's where these came from. I ain't had no surgery. So
oh, no, real titties.
Yeah. They breast, Keon.
Breast.
Titties. Keon, pigs have titties. We're not going to call these titties, Keon. These are breasts.
Breast.
Yeah.
She rather gather me, baby. Gather me out. Okay. That's the real breast. Okay.
And so, finding that out, of course, you know, that had to mess me up in the head, right? Because growing up, my family and I just thought this was fat tissue, you know. And so at the age of 19, I decided that I needed to be my authentic self. I had always felt like a girl, always felt like that's who I was supposed to be. And my grandmother had 4 daughters, right? And just to kind of bring it together, I remember my grandmother saying to me, we're standing at the kitchen sink, and she said, you know, we love you, right? But do you have a girl? And so I said to my grandmother, can I ask a question this time with a question? You know, somebody asks you a question, you answer, right? And no, can I answer with the question? And she said, go ahead. And I said, well, when we were growing up, you would put all my siblings and my cousins and stuff, you would put them out when you were getting dressed. But grandma wouldn't put me out, guys. And so I asked my grandmother why. And without thinking, grandma said, well, it felt like you're supposed to be there. And so my grandmother would answer my questions, because I would say, well, why are you putting that on? And why are you putting that on? You know, her girdle and stuff, they called it foundation then. And my grandmother would answer me. Her grandson, she would answer me. And I asked her, well, why did you do that? And my grandmother said it felt like you were supposed to be there. But we went right back to washing chicken. We never had another conversation. I talked to my mom and I said to my mother that I wanted to begin to take hormones so that I wouldn't grow facial hair and, you know, that kind of thing. And so me and my mother have always been very close. So she cried, I cried. But however, I popped them Skittles. And,
Come on, Skittles! Taste the rainbow.
I popped the Skittles.
Okay.
So the skin can be like it is. And, you know, and I can be soft like I'm supposed to be. And so for me, I finally come into the space and place that I'm able to be comfortable in my skin to tell my truth, because I haven't always been here, right? A lot of people that know me say, why did you do Trans World Atlanta? Because in Trans World Atlanta, shameless plug, you can watch it on Tubi or Amazon Prime, season 1 with 8 episodes. It's amazing. We tell all of our stories. Why did you tell it? Well, I have siblings who, if I say no to them or don't do something they want, then I'm their brother. And yeah, so I had to cut all that. Right. And so how I cut that was I told my own truth through my own lens. And so somebody can give them $100 or $500 to tell my truth. To tell your truth, because it'll be a second time over and it'll be warmed over because it's my truth and not theirs. And so I was glad to be able to tell it myself. Getting in the space and place that I'm comfortable enough to be able to say, I am a Black trans woman. I so happen to be anointed. I so happen to be called by God, right? And I didn't ask for any of those things, but I stand in it 10 toes deep. I stand in it and I own, because that is my truth.
Yes.
And so that's it. I hope I answered your question.
Oh, And I commend you. You know what I'm saying? You know, especially it's one thing when you come out as a gay male. You know, so it took me a long time to come out. You know, people had they, you know, hey, gay, blah, blah, blah. You know, but wearing that costume, I would call it, or being in drag, yeah, you'll be like, well, at that time for me, it was like I didn't want to mess up my money. I was DJing, I was doing just different things. It's just I ain't piercings. I just ain't want to fuck up my money. So then by the time I got comfortable in my skin, once my mom and dad accepted it, I said, oh baby, can't nobody else say nothing about me. So I got, you know, and even to now, I don't have as many challenges, but I still suffer with like some challenges. But I would say I'm comfortable in my skin. I will say that.
And that's where I am. So for me, as my whole thing, right, was as long as my mother accepted me, I could really give two hoots about what the rest of the world thought. But I had to get to a space that I was okay for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I was living in what they call trans privilege. Right. So nobody could get it. I'm not clocky, as they say. And I don't even relish in those kind of terms and all that kind of stuff. But the world, the world we live in, everything's got to have a name. Everything's got to be put into a box, right? And so I've never dealt with any of those things, right? So I just navigated the world as the girl that I am, right? Not knowing that the time would come that not just for me to free me, that I needed to free other people and let other people know that there's a space and place for them where spirituality is concerned and being their selves. Because a lot of people have been taught, like myself, even though I have to give big ups to my uncle, Bishop Robert Hargrove. Not one time did he ever preach against me. Not one time did he ever preach a gay message. And I transitioned in my church. Oh, wow. So I would go to church as Rahkel, right? And then we'd have a good deliverance service. And I'd cut my hair all off and then go back to church as the other person. It wasn't until I got to the space and place that I had to accept that God wasn't going to deliver me from me that I stopped going back and forth like that. Those were the times I had those mental breakdowns. Because what people don't know is they didn't have being trans on sale and I decided to buy it. Right. So I decided that possibly I wanted my family to disown me. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the risks that you take when you go ahead and become your authentic self. Correct. Your family could possibly disown you. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I really didn't care about the family piece. It was about my mom. It was about your mom. And that was a journey. My mother went from calling me them, they, to child of mine, then Rahkel. And that was over a 6-year span.
Hey, you remember when I went through that with my father?
I remember that.
Man, our relationship now is just amazing. I think it was just a learning thing for both of us. Yeah. And that first stage, it was me. I focused on me. What did I do wrong? I went through the pain of it. And then I prayed about it. Time went on, and the scene was on him. Where he learned about the whole thing, and now it's just like, man,
it's amazing.
Amazing.
It was 6 years for us, and what I do know about the process was I told myself that I could not manage her process. Yeah, right. Her process was hers, and mine was mine. So while I was going through a process, so was she. Right. She had to deal with her son, her firstborn, no longer being her son. That part. That was, you know what I'm saying? And I couldn't manage that. Yeah. All I needed to know was that she loved me. Whatever her process looked like, fine, go through it. But do you love me? Because for me, my mother had me at a young age. My mother had me at 15. Ooh. So we grew up together, right? And so she was like that was my mama, that was my girlfriend too. That was my Judy. And so I could not imagine not having my mom. So for me, I was blessed because everybody's not, but I was blessed to be able to have my mother, and we went through the processes together. We would be in the mall, and my mother would say, "Child of mine, baby, unapologetic, child of mine."
I think she had to. I say this, even though my mom and dad was cool, I think they still had to take the time to process it. It's a process because as we're processing it ourselves, because we go through a lot of mental things. A lot of people don't know about the late nights that we're crying and we're saying, okay, is this really me? It is because we're taught in the church, as you said earlier, it's going to be prayed away, et cetera, et cetera. No, this is my truth. So I think we go through a lot of mental problems and mental issues ourselves. But going back to you, Dree, so I know it's different from you because nowadays or back in the day, you will always see men transitioning to women, but then that was more common. But now you have more women transitioning to men. So how was your process? Like how did that work for you?
Good question. In the beginning, I was prepared.
Okay.
I had a lot of exposure to trans men. Being in the tattoo industry, I met a lot of different people, and I built a lot of relationships. And this one particular fellow, he educated me on a lot of stuff in my transition, as far as insurance, doctors, recovery, staging like that, and support. The outside. So I was prepared for it. When it actually happened, man, it was just like unreal. But I had prayed about it. I'll never forget that. Never. And he answered it, man. And I didn't know at that time when we had met Craig and stuff. I didn't know that stuff was gonna happen, but it did. And I just felt like I came out again. I was just reborn again, man. It was just a lovely thing. And after I recovered, that's when the emotions came out of nowhere. So I had to manage, the testosterone, the therapy, getting to know myself, stepping out there again on top of being mindful of my surroundings. That means family, friends, associates, my job, stuff like that. So a lot of my family was cool with it. You know what I'm saying? Only person I really had a problem with it was my father. But that was a testimony in itself. Me and him, we are wonderful, man. Just like about a week ago, I heard him say out loud, "Yo, this is my son." And we was just out. I seen him. I pulled up on him. He was working. Everybody was around. It's just like, yo, that shit felt good. You know what I'm saying? So I just continue to pray about our relationship. I call him as much as I can, educate him on who I am, and still learn about who he is as well. I didn't grow up with my dad. So when I found out who he was, I just took advantage of it, and I ain't let it go, even with the ups and the downs, because I know we was going to be straight.
Right. So in your process, did it take them a long time to start calling you son, or they call you? How long did it take them to stop saying my daughter?
That term didn't really come out a lot. It's just more so my nickname, and before it was Drea. So I would hear that a lot, but it didn't take everybody that long to get with the program. All of my family was open to everything. They were nice and supportive. It took the older people, like aunts and uncles, a little while, but like I said, I just made sure I spent time with them to show them who I was so they could get adjusted to it. And it's been great ever since.
That's good. That's good. Do a lot of people like me hit on you? Like gay men?
Man, they since I've gotten I appreciate it. I love everybody. I'm not gay, but I love everybody. Since I got into ballroom, that's mainly what it consists of. And I look at it like unity and love. I don't see it no different until you cross the line. And I haven't had that to happen a lot of times, because I'm just me and I don't expect nothing from nobody. Just be yourself, but just don't get disrespectful. But yeah, they come out like roaches, man. When we had them balls and things, they get crazy. And so, I got a couple. Go ahead. I got a couple of people who I just look at like great people. I see them every ball. I see them on Facebook. We interacting, and I don't look at it like a sexual thing. That's them. I look at it like a compliment, but I just go on. I love them the same. Don't try to make nobody feel bad or nothing like that.
So you went date like a gay male?
No.
You went that? Okay, so you strictly just women.
Women.
So those who looking, he only like women, okay? Yeah. I know we call ourselves women, but he like real women, okay? Real women.
Well, actually, I am engaged to a trans man.
I was coming to it. Go ahead, because I was coming to it.
And when we got to, so actually we didn't get together because his thought as a trans man, right, is he wouldn't dare date a trans woman, right? That was his thought. Until he met Rahkel.
Because when I seen, no offense, right, but when I seen your man, I said, oh. I said, bitch, that's what? I said, that's a trans what? He said, bitch, that's Rahkel man. He's a trans man. I said, bitch, ain't no way. Like, ain't no way that is a trans man. Because your voice is like deep, and it's just like, bitch, what I got to do to get my voice like that? Like, because it's sickly, it make you wet, bitch. You make it wet. I know. But no, it's so crazy that you actually, like, all jokes aside, but it's like breathtaking to see how people, and I hate to use swear because you said it earlier, but you don't clock their teeth. Like, you cannot tell, like, this is a trans man and you're a trans woman. Like, for the longest, I was like, what? Rahkel is not, like, I had to zoom in, like, bitch, this is not true. Even to him, but you have, and I hate to say it, but you have those who try to transition who don't have the funds, or who the medicine is just not working for them. You get what I'm saying?
Results,
So the results is just not resulting. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me say this to that, right? A lot of times, and I can speak for trans women, and it's the same thing for trans men. Well, not the same thing for trans men, because the trans men have a different transition than we do, and so they take some testosterone, and baby, they on their way, right? So it's not that simple for trans women. Some trans women have a lot of features that they need to break down. Some of us have to have surgeries. Some of us, estrogen is not enough. Sometimes estradiol is not enough. Estrogen is the pill. I call them Skittles, and estradiol I call the elixir. That's what you put in yourself. Like trans men, they have testosterone, and so it's not that simple for all trans women. It's an easier road when it comes to transition for a trans male, because he can take testosterone regularly like he's supposed to, and he's on his way. Trans women, it doesn't happen that easy for a lot of us, right? And so, because money is not available, insurance is not available, a lot of us trans women don't get to transition the way that we like. You know what I'm saying? Now, I was blessed. I was born with a hormonal imbalance, and so I haven't had any surgeries and all that kind of stuff, so I didn't have to go through a lot of what some of my sisters go through, right? And what I'm clear about is a lot of us as trans women would not go through those ugly stages or those clocking stages if we had the resources or the money that we need in order to transition. I'm going back to what I was saying about Malik. When we got together, I learned prior to Malik, I was with another trans man. Okay. And life has taught me, right, that you don't get to pick and choose who you fall in love with. Now, we all got a type.
We do.
Let's be clear. We all got a type. His type is cisgender female. My type, I thought, was cisgender male. You know what I'm saying? But
I like a butch queen.
And that's fine. But what I've learned is that you don't get to pick and choose who your heart loves. Spend too much time around one person, one of two things are going to happen. You either going to like them or love them. One of two things going to happen. And so for him and I spending time together, right, what he did not understand was why he was falling in love with me. Well, there's a whole lot that comes along with me as Rahkel as a person, right? I can't help that I'm motherly. I can't help that I'm nurturing. I can't help that I treat men like kings. I can't. That's just who I am innately. That's not somebody I've tried to become or created, right? And so here it was. He was being treated like a king. And hold up, wait a minute. Now I ain't experienced this before. You treat
it's something different.
Wait a minute, right? And so I would catch him a lot of times just staring at me. And I remember we were in the car one day, and I said to him, I said, "I love you too." He was like, "What?" And he kept driving. I said, "I love you too." But what I've learned, life has taught me, is you don't get to pick and choose who you fall in love with, and love can show up any kind of way. Another thing I'll say, a lot of times I tell people, don't miss out on your gift because they just don't make the wrapping paper no more. Is it about the gift or the wrapping paper? And because most of us take wrapping paper and we throw it away anyway. Not most of us, the majority of us gonna throw wrapping paper away. Nobody unwraps the gifts and then folds it and keep the wrapping paper. You throw it away. So if it's about the gift, right? Sometimes the gift ain't dressed up the way that you want it to be. Right. But guess what? The gift is still there. So what is it about? It's about the gift of the wrapping paper. And so for Malik, it was about this gift.
That's why everybody trying to get it right, baby. So let me ask you this. In your transitioning, right? We always say, well, we were taught men supposed to be with
men.
Women and women supposed to be with men, right? So how do you, like, in the dating world now? Because nowadays, it's like Rahkel, right? She's a trans woman dating a trans man, right? For you a trans.
We're not dating.
Well, engaged.
We still go on dates, but I'm engaged still.
Well, you date along the way, huh? You still do that now. But for you, how do you, like, get into the dating world? Like, how do you go find your woman? Like, how does that happen?
Well, you hitting them tonight, boy. Good question. I haven't been dating. And honestly, man, I haven't been looking. I've been so focused on myself, my family, my mom, and my business. I've been so just going full throttle with that. I see women all the time, Keon. But like, you know, like I said, I just always treat people with love, you know what I'm saying? They do some crazy things. I done seen a lot of shit. Like at work, they drop boxes like they're heavy for me to pick them up. And I'm there to work, so I'm just that kind. I'm helpful. Let's get up out of here. And you know, I've had a couple that throw their shots, and you know, I just don't bite. And they still good ass friends to this day. So I just look at it like this. Right now, this is not my season to be dating anybody. This is a season for me of wisdom and planting my watering my seed, because I've already planted it, but I don't have no room for no distractions. And I look at it also like this, you know, in the meantime, with the stuff I went through, that 5-year relationship, that whole thing changed my whole life around, man.
I like y'all together. Y'all was good.
God is good.
That was good, Dre.
Yeah, God is
yes,
good.
that was. Oh, I like how he did. God is good. Amen. And we're moving.
He really brought me out of that situation, and like I said, that was a big distraction. You know what I'm saying? It was good on the outside, but on the inside, it wasn't. It wasn't, man. That shit tore me down. I went through a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression. I lost myself. I didn't talk for a long time. Life had just shut me the hell up, and I just didn't feel like nobody. Everything had stopped for me, and through it all, like when I got into that I got attacked trying to make like close ties with this young lady, and they'll never go away, just like a movie, man. I just remember trying to close ties, getting my things. I'm out there trying to get the mail, and I just got attacked, man. And I was all up through that apartment, man, and just standing there when it was over. You know how you fight somebody, you trying to collect yourself. I just remember saying, I'm still covered in the name of Jesus. And she over there, he right here still coming at me, but it was like they weren't there. And I know for them to look at me on the outside, like, why would this nigga say some stuff like that at a time like right now? We fighting. Yeah. For me, I'll never forget that day. And ever since then, man, I have been diving in the word. God has been revealing himself to me. He's been calling me, showing me a lot about myself. I have lost a lot, but I've gained more than before. You see what I'm saying? So right now, I have no other choice but to listen and just stay on the path that I'm at, because I'm almost there, Keon. I'm almost there. A lot of people ask me, like, let's highlight the tattoo game. People ask me, man, why you ain't doing no tattoos right now? You still inking? I tell them the same thing. I'm working on something. They never understand, but it's not for them too. So when that time come, I haven't let go of the gift. I've been going through the storms, trying to uplift other people that's been through. That's what's been keeping me going every day by the day. Because it was times I'm like, man, I done been through so many relationships, and here I am again at the bottom. But I decided this time around, I'm finna keep going. I'm not finna let nobody stop my flow, nobody kill my joy, none of that. I'm gonna go for the things that I want to go for that make me feel good.
Yeah. No, most definitely.
So yeah.
In your journey, has it been a time that you felt like you should detransition?
No.
What about you? Yeah.
Never.
I want to continue to.
You know what? No, that's not the truth. One time I did. Yeah, one time I did. And I'm talking about, so of course I would detransition during that time where I was, we would have revivals, and then, you know, I would get delivered again. But since I moved past all that once, because I was going through the battle again in my own head with my own self. It had nothing to do with anybody else. And it was a thought. It wasn't something I did. So before, it was something I did, you know, because, you know, like I said, church. But I had moved here to Atlanta, and it was probably my second year here. And it was a thought. And when me and my ex got together, when we first got together, my ex appeared like a stud.
Oh, wow.
My ex transitioned while we were together. And so my thought, because at that time I wanted a baby so bad. I wanted my own child so bad. And my thought was, well, genetically I got what it takes, and genetically he got what it takes. And I always called him, even when he appeared as a stud, because I call people how I see it, unless somebody tell me something different. I ain't the kind of person, you know, and if I meet somebody and I can't tell by looking at them, I ask them, what are your pronouns? Because I'm just respectful like that. That's who I am. I ask somebody what are their pronouns. And so I thought, you know, he's him and I'm me, and we can make a baby.
We can
right?
make a baby.
Well, God didn't see fit for that to happen. For whatever reason, at 48 today, I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with that. Like I said, I wanted a baby's bad, and thinking in my head, do I need to detransition? Because if we do get pregnant, am I going to confuse my baby? And then I had to remind myself, how could I confuse a child and you're not confused? And I got my whole self together.
There you go.
You know, there's times in our lives when we got to pull our own self together. Nobody else got to get you together.
Gather yourself.
How you do it again?
You gather yourself.
I had to gather my own self, and that's what I did. I gathered myself together and I say, hey, little girl, God was clear that you were going to be who you were before the foundations of the earth, before your mom and daddy got together. God knew you was going to be Rahkel, Rochelle, Henry. Point blank, period. So, girl, get with it. And that was the last time that I had that thought. Because that time it was a thought. That I ain't even allowed that thing to come to fruition. It was just a thought. And I got rid of that thought. And when I got rid of that thought, there was another space and time where I got free again.
You know what I call that? Stinking thinking.
Yeah, and that's what it was.
You got to get rid of that stuff.
Yeah, you know and when I got rid of it that day, that stinking thinking was gone.
There you go.
It didn't even exist in my space. Like, I don't do negativity in my space. That kind of thinking, out of there. Yeah. Just not at all.
All right, cool. So I want to get, because I know y'all are very open and y'all comfortable in y'all skin. So I definitely want to get y'all opinion about something that's going around on the internet. Okay. You'll put that clip up for me. Go down. Yep. Clips. It's right there. Yep.
Listen, I'm sitting here in my waist trainer. Man, I look thick as fuck. It's the waist trainer though. But I came to make this video. And I already know it's coming, so I'm going to clear it up in advance. Like, oh, how he going back to being a man and he still got them big old. Guess what? The devil tricked me into getting all this stuff. And it didn't happen overnight. And God has delivered me mentally and spiritually first. So these are just the demonic attachments I got to get off me. God has already delivered me mentally and spiritually. Oh, thank you, Father. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, God is good. He's already delivered me. I feel it in my bones. I feel free. I feel like I'm not walking around in a costume. I feel like I'm not walking around in a mask. And trust me, I've been impatient all my life. Trust me, I've been impatient all my life. This is the one thing. I read a lot of scriptures about patience because this is not me this time. This is God. He's just using me as a vessel. Lord, I finally get it. I finally get it, Lord. You just want to use me. And Lord, I'm available to you. So just stay tuned. It's all coming off me. Trust me.
Who want to go first?
So, in Leviticus, in the Bible, right? It says the homosexuality is an abomination. I want to be clear on the Keon show tonight, right? That first and foremost, if Keon writes a book and if Dre writes a book, Dre's thoughts, the way that Keon feels, the lens that Keon looks through is going to come out in this book, right? So let's be clear, first and foremost, that the Bible is the inspired word of God. I'm going to it from a spiritual aspect. Okay. From a spiritual aspect, it's the inspired word of God. Leviticus said what Leviticus said because that's how Leviticus felt. When the day comes that somebody can show me in the inspired word of God where God said something about homosexuality, then we can have a different conversation. God never said anything about homosexuality. In fact, in the biblical days, just to give people a little knowledge, in the biblical days, we were considered as eunuchs, and eunuchs were God's trusted. They were the people that God believed in and the people that God trusted, right? Then just to add another piece to it, that book, that King James Bible that we read, King James was the biggest queen this side of earth. So I'm not going to speak on Azario because that's what he goes by now. I'm going to respect him as he asks to be respected. And so I'm not going to speak on Azario, but what I will say is, again, like I've been saying all night, God is not going to deliver you from you. We get to make choices. The same way I chose to cut my hair off when we had those good deliverance services is the same way somebody else can make the choice to detransition. But what we're not going to do is blame it on God.
Or mock him either.
No. What about you? How you felt about that?
Instantly, I felt that person is hurting. And that's how I felt about it. The outlet is a bit extreme, but I don't judge nobody. If that's how you feel, more power to you. I just want you to strive to seek peace and love within yourself, because all I can feel from this person's energy is they just hurt. Something's wrong. And it hasn't been addressed. And it's not gonna take no outside people. It ain't gonna take no social media. You getting up there doing all that stuff. It's gonna come from within. That's the only answer. And then maybe when you come back, you can present yourself in a more genuine and more serene place. So,
for me, even though I'm not trans, just looking, because I seen a video prior to that, how I learned about it was someone else did a live speaking on this.
Oh, it's probably when Giselle did it.
Giselle,
right?
So when Giselle did it, I was still confused, because I'm like, well, baby, I ain't in the trans world, so I was a little confused. But what I do, or what I can say, is that you can't pray this away.
No.
You cannot pray this away. We're who we are. You know what I'm saying? So being a gay male, and I know you guys are trans people, you can't say, well, today I'm gonna be a trans man or I'm gonna be a trans woman, and then tomorrow, yesterday don't count. You get what I'm saying? I feel that it was something. It's either two things. It's either that you were looking for attention, or y'all can't say what I was saying, because this is my show. I feel like he was, because now he wants to be called he. He was looking for attention, because at one point you got to go from a male to a woman. Now you're going back from a woman to a male. So it's an attention thing for me. Or you just confused, because at the end of the day, you still have to go through it. Like you transition, you have to detransition. And like you said, you still have, I don't think these are demons. Yours ain't demons. They real.
Quite lovely too. But I just want, so let me speak to this though. So I am clear about that God called me to people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I will never speak down on Azario. Mm-hmm. However, I will pray for Azario, that God keeps Azario's mind, that Azario is safe in this space of detransitioning, if that's what he's going to do. Mm-hmm. I just believe that there's a time and place for things, right?
It is.
We are in an election year, right? And there are all kinds of legislation being passed against us already. And that's all the legislators need, is this one martyr, this one person to be able to say, see, I told you that they wasn't this, that they wasn't that. And so my prayer is for Azario, that Azario is taken care of in this space. Because the reality is, whatever has caused Azario to be in the space and place that he's in right now, right? That's between him and God. Mm-hmm. And I personally wish that he had left it between him and God, but that's fine. He wanted it to go before the world for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. I just pray that Azario stays sane, because I know what it is to have a mental breakdown. I've had 4. I know what it is to be mentally institutionalized. I have been 4 times. I was on lithium, Haldol, Cogentin, and Zapraxa. You can look it up. I didn't know what day it was. I would be dripping from my mouth, saliva dripping from my mouth. And, I would just have days where I was just completely out of it, right? And I know people that have had 1 mental breakdown and they made it out. I've had 4. God is amazing. You get what I'm saying? I'm 48 years old. I'm not on medication today. God is amazing, right? And so that whole mental piece, first and foremost, is nothing to play with, because the mental can overtake you. And if you play with the mental too much, the mental will get you together. Like you say, the mental will get you up. Yeah. And so for me, since I saw that, I've been praying that God keep Azario, that God puts peace in Azario's body and in Azario's mind, that whatever needs to happen, that God settles all of that inside of that.
Inside of it.
Right.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. And I know I've seen you guys watching. I know y'all watching as well. If you guys have any questions or want to ask, or if you guys have any questions amongst us, you feel free to drop it in the comment box. Feel free to ask those who are watching. Because it's deep. It gets deeper too. Because I haven't even went to get into the questions that I want to ask. But
we here. Now's your turn.
but feel free to ask. And once again, I just want to thank y'all really for coming, because this is educational. You know, even to myself and those who are in the community, because we're under one umbrella. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's a lot of things that I don't know about trans women. Trans men. There's a lot of things I don't know about trans women, and it's things that y'all have experienced that gay males experience. You know what I'm saying? So it's real different. But one thing that I can say that all us share is that we all went through the mental part. You get what I'm saying? The trauma, we all went through the backlash. We all went through something together, separately but together. You get what I'm saying? So I just want to thank y'all for just being open, being honest, and just being you guys selves. You know what I'm saying?
And thank you for having us.
Yes,
thank you for this opportunity. This space and place. I always say that a closed mouth don't get fed, right? And how can you know except you ask, right? And so if you want to know about a trans person, you don't go to a lesbian and ask about a trans person. You go to a trans person. Yes. If you got a Mercedes car, you want to take your Mercedes car to the Mercedes-Benz dealer and not to the Toyota dealer.
There you go, take it to the Toyota.
So if you want to know about me, ask me. And I don't speak for all trans women. I speak for this trans woman and all of my experiences and how I see things, and through my lens, I can speak for me. Now there are some other trans women that have believed the same way I believe, but I don't speak for all trans women.
Yeah,
but I can shed light and give you insight on trans women as a whole personally about this.
Yeah, most definitely. So how would you guys say? How could you or how can we break the stigma between the trans community and the gay community, even though we still under like one umbrella? How do you feel that we can break that?
Creating spaces for engagement and unity and love. I have a big example right now with me being in ballroom. I'm in a house. It's called the Upper Echelon of Rajay, and we did a mock ball. And it was great, man. We had a lot of faces come out, a lot of energy in the building. Nobody was on no competitive vibe or I'm over you. Everybody was having a good ass time. You know what I'm saying? Letting loose, really diving into the craft of ballroom itself.
And just, sorry to cut you off, but for those who don't know, what is a mock ball?
Well, a mock ball is kind of like a practice ball, and a ball is a gathering of people where we compete in different categories that you dress up for and you participate in. It's a lot of different categories, man. It's fun, it's engaging, it's education at the same time. It's an outlet for a lot of people, for those that are closed-minded, closed in, don't really get out around a lot of people. That's the place to be. So you just, get to be yourself and have a good time.
Hey, what about you, Rahkel?
I'll answer. I just want to that Wayne said, look at the comments, Keon.
And just to, highlight some more, it'd be a lot of people in these balls. It's different cultures. It's different gender non-conforming. It's drag queens. It's butch queens. It's just so much, but everybody's in that one space at one time and just loving on one another. We going home. That's it.
I believe the way that we destigmatize between trans people and gay people, or butch queens, if you will. And somebody said, "What's a butch queen?" My definition of a butch queen is a gay male who can butch up when he wants to and he can queen out when he wants to. That's my definition, and I say that because I don't get that privilege, and neither does he get that privilege.
Right. Well, I can be a little masculine, I can be a little feminine, right, sometimes. But sometimes, it just depends on who I'm around. Sometimes it be a queen, baby. Sometimes it be a little manly. But it just depends. It depends on the day and time. Now these women.
Now I believe that we can destigmatize when we get to the space and place and realize that, like you said, we're actually cut from the same cloth, right? Because I believe there's a whole lot of infighting that always takes place.
Right.
When we all realize that the world as a whole sees us all lumped in anyway, there shouldn't be any stigma in between us. In fact, that's how we fight stigma together, by accepting that we're cut from the same cloth. And you my brother, you know what I'm saying? You his brother, I'm your sister. We get rid of stigma when we take that, as you call it, stinking thinking,
Stinking
but I'll
thinking.
say when you take that stink off of it.
That's
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah.
Keep stigmatizing. And why should there be stigma within us?
Mhm.
We already going through with the world, period. Like I was saying with legislation. So we should not be fighting within us. There should not be any stigmatizing amongst us at all. And the way that we end it, again, to answer your question, is just to accept that we are cut from the same cloth, and we need to fight this fight together.
Yeah, but I don't think a lot of people look at it that way.
They
You know what I'm
don't.
saying?
You're correct. They don't.
They don't look at it that way.
I know some gay men, right, that when they find out my truth, right, so now they're trying to find it. Because we're a visual people. That's
Mhm.
just who we are.
Uh-huh,
We can't help it. And so once they find out that I'm trans, now they're looking for it. They're trying to find some kind of masculine something to make it make sense in their head,
Mhm.
right? And so I remember being younger, right? And my cousin can attest to this. I remember being younger, getting guys for a butch queen. Because they really wish that they could go ahead and be the girl that I am, to get that man or to get the trade, and so for me, like I really think like it's almost like a hating thing. Like, why you hating on me? I'm who I am and you are who you are. We can do this together. You know what I'm saying?
They
Like
don't
I
know
don't need,
themselves,
yeah.
no
And
more.
so at the end of the day, I believe when people are completely comfortable in their own skin. My old bishop used to say, my Uncle Rob used to always say, if you take 6 months to mind your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And another 6 months to leave mine alone, you'll be busy all year, every year.
That part. That's a good saying there.
Yeah.
That's a good saying. I want to go to the comments and look at the comments. I did see Miss Ann say, I'm a heterosexual woman. Yes, Dree is fine. Bridget said, proud to have Dree as a brother.
Oh, what's up, girl?
Go down. I see Shantae saying, I'm here, shy. Kevin Kell say, Keon sitting over there, wet panties. Baby. Girl, y'all must ain't hear Dree talk. You're lucky. You're like gay man, baby.
And I'm just saying, please forgive me.
I would have showed you a world, baby. I would have showed you a world. Because the girls gagged when I said trans man. Baby, they gagged, baby. They didn't know you was a trans man. Thought you was a real man. Thought you had the real piece down there. Skip that. Skip that. KB Kel's TD is a butch queen. I seen Tracy say something. Scroll down. Tracy said something I seen, but I can't find it no more. No, it wasn't that. Scroll down a little bit more. It may be right there. That part. That one right there. The thank you. Tracy said, thanks for sharing. As a straight woman of a certain age, this was very educational and enlightening. That's good.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
So I see that that Wayne says, Rahkel, how did you get your partner and how are you doing today? I think I hope I answered that for you earlier today. Earlier this
you
evening.
did. Give them like a quick touch of it.
So actually we met through Instagram. He had DM'd me about church, right? And so he was talking to me about church. My first time actually seeing him, we were on a panel together. And when he walked up, he's bow-legged. Thank you, Jesus. And
Who ain't look like a bow-legged man, baby?
He is a bow-legged man, Keon.
I know, I'm not looking at your man, but I just ain't nothing like a bow-legged man. That's why I said, don't beat me up, I just said ain't nothing like a bow-legged man. Cause baby, listen.
So when I first saw him, I was like, God, he's fine. But then I saw a ring on his finger, and I was like, nope, because I don't play those games. I believe if you sow seeds, you reap them. And so he hit me up in the DM, like I said, and was talking to me about church. And we talked about service, but I said to him, I see that you're married. And so if you trying to talk to me or something, I ain't her. I only play them games. Long story short, we continued to talk. We became friends. Unbeknownst to me, him and his ex-wife, they were not doing well at the time. They were living in the same house, but not in their, not functioning in their relationship. And so we are actually doing well. We're getting married. He proposed to me. We're getting married.
Baby,
So we are
cried,
doing
too.
well, but I want you to know that all relationships, our relationship is no different from any other relationship. It takes work. A lot of people love what the picture looks like. Snap. Your pictures look lovely, right? But it takes work in order for a relationship to work. And when you got two individuals who are willing to do the work, it can work because communication is everything. Nobody's a mind reader. I don't know what you're thinking. You don't know what I'm thinking. And you're taking two individuals who come from two completely different households and you're putting them together to make one. So we're doing well, Wade.
Just deep.
Thank you. Shantae said congratulations. Thank you. I see it right here.
Oh. yes, indeed. Carl, why you just say ask the question? Ask the question, Carl.
I beg your pardon?
I said go ahead and ask the question.
I forgot what the question was.
It's on
what are some of the nuanced experiences that you all have like observed between the like white trans experience versus black trans experiences? Do you feel like maybe one has it easier, one has it more complicated? Any different like differences between the two experiences?
Absolutely. They get to navigate in trans privilege. Like they still get that, they still got their white card. I mean, I don't mean to say that, but yeah, they still got their card. You know what I'm saying? They still get to navigate in this world as they did just as a white male or female. Now they just trans. You know what I'm saying? They still get to navigate. We still have it harder. So we already got strikes against us being black, right? Then you got strikes against you being a male or female. God help you talking about you trans, and then you tell somebody you trans. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, I've had men say to me in the past, of course, before me and Malik, you know, why are you out here tricking dudes? Well, I'm not tricking anyone. I mean, it's not my fault that you see what you see, you know what I'm saying? And you see a woman. Well, that's who I am. What's between my legs ain't none of your business. That only becomes your business if we decide to sleep together. And I've never been the kind of girl, you know what I'm saying, to excuse my mouth, play pussy. So I'm going to tell a nigga what it is. I would tell a nigga what it is because I ain't got to do that no more. I got a man now. I ain't got to do that no more, but I would. In the past, I would tell a nigga what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't, I got to say, thank you, Jesus, knock on wood, that I never had the experience of a man trying to attack me or anything. Thank God I'm my father's daughter, so I do not handle myself physically. However, I thank the Lord that I've never had those experiences, right? I've had guys say to me, damn, you look like you could be my sister or my auntie. And so I never went through those kind of things, and it doesn't negate my other sisters' experiences who have experienced that, right? But to answer your question, yes, there is a great difference between us and them because they get to navigate in white privilege. At the end of the day, they do not have to deal with what we deal with. Now, they do deal with the things we deal with when it comes to transitioning. The process of transitioning doesn't look different because of their skin complexion. But navigating life, they get to navigate it just like their other white counterparts with no problem.
So I got a question. I hope I ain't digging too deep, but I know curious minds will want to know. So, and tell me if I'm, for both of y'all, tell me if I dig too deep. So, like for sex, like how is like the sexual experience?
Oh my God.
And I want both of y'all to answer because, and the reason why I ask is because you're a trans woman dating a trans man, right? In the gay community, right? You know, we still seek that we get this tempered with. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, how do you and your partner experience sexual encounters?
Well, I'll use your word. I'm
trying to be modest.
I'm 48 years old.
How y'all fuck?
Yeah. And so I'm gonna use your word. It gets tampered with. In fact, I love it to be tampered with.
Okay.
So sex for us. So like the very first time, it was like, hey. So I've been with a lot of cisgender men in my life, right? So we had to kind of turn the lights on. He had to get up, and I had to make sure it didn't belong to him. Because it was that good, right? And I'm only saying this because we're open. We've been on all these talk with Trans World Atlanta. You tell all the business, and we've had a lot of talkbacks and stuff. So it's not. I'm not telling something that he's not comfortable with.
Yeah.
As far as sex goes with me, you know, penetrating him, it's amazing, but I don't feel masculine when I'm doing it, and he doesn't feel feminine when I'm doing it.
So it had. Ooh, wow. So it has been a time you use your piece on Malik.
Yeah, you said a time?
Well, times.
Yes.
I'm trying to...
Yeah.
Woo. Okay. Let me change
And
it
it's
up.
over.
Never say
It's over. Like it's over. Like I would have never. I'm telling you, like I would have when I was just a trans woman dating cisgendered men, right? I couldn't use I call it my lily. I couldn't use my lily.
Okay.
I just could not. I tried. It was devastating one time, and I never did that again. I left that alone. I was just a fish, and you know, I just couldn't. You know, that wasn't something for me. But in love, all of me shows up.
Oh,
love.
yes, ma'am. What you say, sister? Dios side.
Really?
As for you, Dree, how was it for you?
Well, I'm not, sexing nobody right now.
Okay, but
So
when you
I
did,
can go off.
sex,
The young lady I was with for 5 years, man, she was with me before I transitioned, and after she would tell me it got greater every time. So she liked, the more natural me than just the strap. I thought that was a lot of fun too. It felt amazing. It felt
wow.
And yes, I can penetrate. I can penetrate naturally. I can stand up and piss naturally without having to use an STP, a standing P device. That's just how testosterone works. Everybody's DNA is different. I have been doing a lot of research on the next part of my transition. I want to have bottom surgery. So.
Oh my God! Can y'all calm down?
I got hot.
I found a doctor. And what's y'all laughing at?
She took her nipples that hard. We have a studio
I'm
audience.
about to start sweating, bitch.
Let me cool Keon off.
So yeah, that's like the cherry on top for me.
So let me ask you this: have you ever? I'm gonna use Rahkel's words. Have you ever got your lily played with? Like inside? Have you ever been penetrated?
No.
In your lily?
No.
Oh,
I've
so
never
you're a
been
virgin.
with a man. Yeah, none of that. No.
Oh.
When I was in high school, I had one boyfriend, and we came out to each other because he was like, "I cheated on you," and my reaction was it good?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a freshman, you know what I'm saying? I just wasn't fast like that growing up, so that wasn't a thing to me. And even at that time, I was trying to find myself. I said, "Well, look, man, I'm looking at girls, so it is what it is." And we became friends, and an unfortunate situation happened to him, and that was that. He would still come around after I had already lived my life as a stud. He was a great friend. He never tried to push any of that shit on me or anything. So yeah, I ain't never been with no dude. When I look at him, I'm like, man, that's a fire watch, or where you getting a shoe from? What kind of suit is that? You know what I'm saying? So I just don't. It has never been me. It never been me. Even when I was younger, I would always see myself outside with no shirt. You know what I'm saying? When I was modeling, I did the same thing. It was always, I just saw that for myself. I'm happy. I love myself. I'm me.
So how would you feel about the because we all into Twitter? I know everybody get on Twitter. We see OnlyFans, etc. So you as a trans man, how do you feel about trans men who are actually being penetrated if they're supposed to be a man? Do you look at them as like a gay male?
Hell no. For what? That's their business. I'm gonna get mad at you if you don't be yourself. Right. Don't be around here faking the phone. You don't kill yourself with that stress on yourself like that. You see what I'm saying? Don't do that. But all I'll say, just respect me. And that's that. Be yourself, love yourself. And don't shortchange yourself neither. That's what you want to do, then do it.
What about you, Rahkel? Have you ever thought about having bottom surgery?
I did way before I met Malik because I thought that bottom surgery would solidify my womanhood, but my womanhood got solidified right here in my heart. And so when I began to love all of me, I didn't feel the need to go do that. Like a lot of trans women who have SRS, That's what it's called, sexual reassignment surgery. They have that for the fact of things that completes them. But if your heart and your mind is not in the same place, you can get bottom surgery all you want, and it's going to mess you up. I've been in therapy since I was 14. I'm 48 now, and so I'm completely comfortable in my skin. I've never had issues with somebody seeing me naked and say, "Oh, that's a," you know what I'm saying? I've been a trans woman a long time. I know how to put her away. You know,
for the gods, baby, hide her, disappear.
Yeah, yeah. I know how to gather her, as you say.
Gather her up, baby. You see the split.
so I don't have those. No, I don't have that desire. It's not something that I desire.
Abel, go. So.
I got this over here.
Okay. I just want to make sure. So, I'm gonna start with Rahkel. So, looking back, right? Because, like you said, you've been a trans woman for a very, very, very long time. So, looking back, what would you say to? It's a go up. Yeah. What would you say?
Girl, on this thing. It's the question.
What would you say to this person right here? What would you say to that person?
I would tell him that the time is going to come where you get to authentically be all of you. And it's going to be worth it all. But I will also tell him, thank you for carrying me. Because had it not been for him, she could not exist. And so I am grateful for him. I don't see that, and it makes me frown and make me feel some kind of way, right? Because that is who I was. And had it not been for him, you couldn't talk to Rahkel today.
Where were you in this picture? Where were you
was actually at someone's wedding, and I was singing, because I sing too. So I was singing at someone's wedding.
Oh, wow.
I was singing.
You remember that?
I do. I remember it. And we'll never forget it. I like I said, every time I see him, the first thing that comes to my brain is thank you for carrying me. Because except he carried me, and even then I had breath, but except he carried me, I couldn't be here today. And so I don't look at that in shame. And even when people see that, people can't even look at that and see her. You know what I'm saying? And so my cousin has always said, "Girl, you look like a bull dagger back then." You know. So, but for me, I would say to him, "Thank you for carrying me."
All right, and for Dree, what about you? What would you say to your person, your younger self?
I would say you're loved. You're loved. And keep going. That's it. Just keep going. Keep going, bro. That is it, man. Wow, bro. Wow.
You was in your stud days then.
Wow.
Do you remember this picture? Like where you were in life at that picture?
I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy. I had just like cut my hair off and getting over that milestone with my mom. You know, how moms are attached to your hair and shit like that. So wow, it was just I was in that opening up that door to like really being myself, crafting myself. Wow, put it up one more time for me. Yeah, man. I was living with my aunt, and I was doing like a lot of runway modeling, a lot of fashion shows, pop-ups, and wow, that's so long ago, man. Wow, I wasn't happy at all, bro. Man, I ain't gonna do that to y'all today, but I wasn't happy at all, bro. But I kept going though to get to that happiness.
To get to the happiness.
Hell yeah, I kept going, and I tell myself just keep going, and you love. Yeah.
As those two images that I showed you guys.
Where you find it at?
Don't worry about it. It was on the internet, baby. It was on the internet. But those pictures that I put up, did you guys back then get any backlash from like y'all friends from not being like your true authentic self?
I did. I remember, and I don't know why I'm getting emotional.
It's okay.
I'm grateful
it's
for
okay.
him. Oh yeah, baby. I'll go. Trust me. I believe my emotion is coming from even then, right? I was encouraged to be all of me,
Mhm.
even then. And even then, I remember being in the 8th grade, getting ready to graduate to go to high school,
Mhm.
and I was very popular. I was always on the stage, and the boys treated me like a girl. So
Really?
the boys would hit me in my butt in the hallway and all that kind of stuff. The stuff that the girls dealt with, I dealt with. my gym teacher, right? My gym teacher, we hit our last day of gym. We used to wear those blue shorts, and it was piped in white.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And my gym teacher, last day of gym, because they made us go to gym the last day of school. Can you believe that?
Oh, wow.
My gym teacher popped me on the behind. He said, I've been waiting for 2 years to do that.
Damn.
How
did you feel about that?
I thought it was fab because I thought he was fine. I said, oh, God. I'm thinking to myself, I didn't say it, because he was still my teacher.
Yeah.
Thinking to myself, why you ain't been doing it? Because we probably could have had. You wasted your own time.
Yeah.
But when we got our yearbooks, my class lined up to sign my yearbook, and most of the stuff they wrote was, "I'll be glad when you finally be you."
Wow, that's amazing.
I love you, but you need to be yourself. And so when I transitioned, all of my classmates reached out to me some kind of way, whether it was through social media, some has reached out to me. It was like, it's about time. It took you long enough. So I didn't go through. That's why my story is different. That's why I said only through my lens and through my story. My story is different. I didn't go through people ridiculing me, people doing me in. Cousin will tell you, people allowed me to be me. My mother, I was a cheerleader.
Oh, wow.
My mother allowed me to be me. Like, I got one pair of sneakers a year that was for gym and gym alone.
I cheered too.
Because I didn't wear sneakers.
I call it the mascot though, but I cheered too.
Yeah, so I was a cheerleader, and so I don't know what it is not to have been, I don't know what it is not to be in a place where I didn't feel loved and I didn't feel accepted and stuff. I remember my grandmother, God rest her soul. Happy birthday, Grandma. Today is my grandmother's 95th birthday.
Happy
Oh,
God
happy
rest
birthday.
her soul. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's in glory. She taught me so many things. I remember when I first transitioned, and one of my cousins came in the house calling me by my dead name, right?
Mm.
And my grandmother, she cussed. Cousin would say, she cussed.
Real bad.
Oh, you think you cuss? Yeah. My grandmother said, MF, you know what her effing name is?
Yeah.
And my grandmother told me, we were watching, go show you how far back I go, we were watching Sally Jesse Raphael with the red glasses.
I remember Sally.
A lot of people may not even know her. And watching it, my grandmother said, if you ever come in here talking about you gay, right? So my grandmother told me. And it wasn't too the strength to tell my grandmother. You know what my grandmother said to me? She said, I just needed to know that you were strong enough to be here.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Because in my head, if I gotta lose my grandma, I gotta be me. She taught me to be me.
Mm-hmm.
And so she said, and I didn't do it to hurt you. She loved me and everything. She said, but I said that to you because I needed to know that you were strong enough
To be yourself.
What
What about
about
you?
Yep, it
What
was.
about you, Dre?
Well, I didn't really have a lot of close friends like that, but I am social. I haven't had nobody like trying to tear me down and nothing like that. For the most part, people are latching on to my spirit and my energy. I try to keep positive, you know what I'm saying? I've had more people come to me now about stuff they've experienced. They want prayer, they want support, they want resources and answers. So I don't get none of that negative stuff, man. And I pray I don't, but if I do, I'll be prepared, you know? But yeah, all my friends are still my friends. For the ones that, I haven't talked to or fell off, I ain't mad about it.
Yeah.
Everybody can't ride, so, I'm straight.
That was
Everybody can't ride.
My uncle used to say that we're all on an elevator in life. And sometimes there are some people that got to get off, and when they got to get off, bid them adieu. Because everybody can't go to the top floor with you.
That part.
Right. Not supposed to, no way.
Yeah, bid them adieu.
And I think we just all try to prove to the world. That's how I feel. Like we try to make a statement. You try to make a statement, or you try to be, well, as a gay male, you try not to be that person that people bash you for. If that makes sense. Like you said, so you said you never experienced that as a gay male. I experienced, he apologized. But at the end of the day, I mean, it is what it is.
But can I tell you this, Keon? When I did experience that, people calling me a fag, I was younger, and the boys wanted to have me. And so I would,
because I had every boy that I ever wanted.
Yeah, so it was just about their own insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Their own insecurity. And back then, I would sleep with them off of GP because they would be the one trying to let somebody hold it. So I would sleep with them and then dare them to say something. Then after that, I would do that. That was my protective. You know what I'm saying? Because I have always been nurturing. I've always been the kind of girl that guys want to come and talk to. Yeah. Even when I was a boy, like I used to work in a hair salon. Omar and Abdullah's is the baddest shop in our city, right? And I worked in the back of the hair salon, and the barbershop was in the front. I used to sit down late nights and have conversations with all the guys. They would ask me questions and stuff like that. And most of them, I had slept with them. But I wasn't the kind of girl to kiss and tell either. You know what I'm saying?
I never been.
But I've always been the kind of person that when I was 10, I had solutions for grown people's problems. I know today because that's just what God called me to. I didn't know back then. You know what I'm saying? And so when those ones would do that, so in my city, it was 6 miles long under wide. And so I was popular in my city. And so you could always tell when somebody new moves to the city and they got to meet the gay boy who sings, you know, and they tried me and found that the gay boy could fight. Oh. And so I didn't deal with that kind of, you know what I'm saying?
I had to deal with that too.
And I would always get the bully. That's how I was. So it could be somebody in the crew, but the bully was who's behind.
Who's behind? Yeah.
So.
That's crazy. Before we close out,
it's a great show.
Before we close out, do you guys have anything that you guys want to ask each other, ask me, share anything before we close out?
Well, like I said, y'all can go to Tubi or Amazon Prime, Trans World Atlanta. It is season 1 with 8 episodes. We actually are filming season 2 in the summertime. Not only that, you can hit me up. You can reach me at all social media platforms. And I believe that you help people when you answer questions. You know what I'm saying? There's a scripture that says, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, right? And so if you don't know, I'd rather somebody ask me than somebody assume. Yeah. I'd rather somebody say, Rahkel, like, I really just don't understand, but it's just something about you, and I want to talk to you. You know, I'd rather you do that than you to battle with your own insecurities and want to harm me. Yeah. I believe that a lot of our trans sisters and brothers get killed because people were dealing with their own insecurities and did not feel like they could tell nobody.
They couldn't tell nobody, yeah.
Or ask nobody. Yeah, or ask nobody. So, that probably would be all.
Look at your man checking in, baby.
Hey, he said, this Mr. Fiance
checking in. Period. Anything you want to add, share, talk about before we close out?
Y'all can find me on my social media, Dree Glass, Tattoos by King Dree, Blue Art by King Dree, my podcast, all of that is on there. If you have schizophrenic family members or anything like that, man, love on them, engage with them, support them. Anybody out there that want to link up with me, talk business or anything like that, you know, I'm a chaplain. I can render out prayer for you just to keep you motivated. And my biggest thing right about now in life is just to keep going. Don't stop. Keep going. I don't care what happens, what go left or what go right. Keep going. Ain't no way you can fail. And keep God on your side.
Oh, and I wanted to tell you too, Keon, we got nominated for a GLAAD Award.
I seen that. Congratulations. I seen that. But I went I was on there yesterday. I seen that.
Love you too, cuz.
So congratulations. I just want to say once again, thank y'all for coming on. I know it's been a long time coming. It's been a long time. Dree, welcome back for the 4th time.
Yes,
so I just want to say thank y'all because each time that we talk, I know me and you talk through Abel, and I know me and you we talk here and there, but every time I'm with y'all, it's just like love, and it's just like this energy that I get from y'all. Like so it's just like just like yesterday. Yep. So I just want to thank y'all for just coming on and sharing y'all experience, sharing y'all knowledge. Because a lot of people don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I hope this was educational to you guys. I hope you learned something from tonight's show. So until next time, next time we're going live is 2 weeks from there. I can't think of the date right now, but in 2 weeks, we'll be going live again on Thursday. So I'll see y'all soon. Bye.
Peace out, y'all. Have a good Thursday.